Good morning. Jennifer Winchester, residential realtor with Realty Executives, Arizona Territory. Today is myth busting because first time buyers are trying to buy a house while the internet screams contradictory advice like it is the gala fashion group chat. All right, before we dive in, here is what this is actually about. Today is basically a training session, not for you to become real estate agents, because please don't. I like my job, but for you to become first time buyer detectives in your normal everyday life at the coffee shop, at your kids' soccer game, at happy hour, in the group chat, anywhere. Because here is the magic phrase. If you hear any version of, I want to buy a house, but that is the moment. That is the cue. Whatever comes after the but is usually a myth I can bust in one conversation. Your job is just to catch it. I will handle the rest. So, why does any of this actually matter? Here is the thing about myths. They don't just waste time, they create anxiety. And anxiety is the worst possible co pilot when you are making the biggest financial decision of your life. Anxious buyers do one of two things: they freeze and stay stuck renting for another 3 years, watching the market move on without them, or they sprint into a bad decision, waive the inspection, overpay by 40 grand, and end up in a house with stickers covering water damage. I'll come back to the stickers. Neither one is good. Neither one is what I want for the people you love. The goal isn't pressure. The goal isn't hype. The goal is calm, informed action, a real plan, real numbers, real choices, and a realtor who's not going to let them drive off a cliff. That's the whole job. So, myth number one: you need 20% down to buy a house. This one. If I had a dollar for every time I've heard this myth, I could put 20% down on a house in the foothills. I worked with a buyer, solid job, paying her rent on time every single month, never missed a beat, but she was waiting and waiting and waiting because the down payment jar wasn't full yet. She was convinced 20% was the entry fee, like there was a bouncer at the door of homeownership checking wallets. One calm conversation with a good lender, and the whole myth just died. Right there on the spot, a realistic plan showed up. And suddenly it wasn't maybe in 3 years. It was, oh, wait, this is like actually possible. Like now, that is the win. Turning vague hope into an actual roadmap, turning someday into let's go look at houses Saturday. So here is what I need from you. Listen for these three things. I'm still renting, but I'm saving up. I've got a steady job, but I need that 20% down first. I'll buy when I have a bigger down payment. Okay, myth number two: I need a 780 credit score or it is a waste of time. Let me say this out loud for the people in the back. Credit is not a moral score. It is not a measure of your worth as a human being. It is a snapshot, a Polaroid of one moment in your financial life, and Polaroids can be retaken. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most of the time, the fixed isn't dramatic, it's boring. A few on time payments, knocking down a couple balances, a timeline, and a plan. That is it. That's the secret. No goat sacrifice required. The real barrier isn't the number, it's the fear. Fear of being told no, fear of being judged, fear of an old medical bill from 2019 that's living rent free in their credit report and their anxiety brain. So here's what I need. Listen for these three things. I'd love to buy, but my credit is rough. I've still got medical bills or student loans hanging over me. There's no way I'd get approved, so I'm not even going to try. Myth number three: the perfect market timing exists. I hear this one weekly. We'll buy when rates drop, as if rates send calendar invites, as if the housing market is going to text you like, hey, girl, conditions are optimal. Let's do this. Meanwhile, life keeps happening. Leases end, jobs change, roommates bail at the worst possible moment, families grow. The landlord raises the rent again because, of course, he does. I worked with a buyer who'd been waiting for the perfect time for years and paying somebody else's mortgage the whole time. What finally changed everything wasn't the market, it was swapping the question from, is the market perfect, to, is the plan solid? Once the plan existed, choices opened up, stress went way down, keys went in the door. So here is what I need from you. Listen for these four things. My lease is up in a few months. I just got a new job or we're relocating. I am so tired of my landlord. Or we're thinking maybe next year. Okay, myth number 4, sticker price equals deal. Here's the thing nobody tells you about offers: price isn't the whole game. I know. Every TV show, every cousin at Thanksgiving, every Reddit thread will tell you the highest number wins. And sometimes it does. But an offer isn't just a price tag, it's a bundle, timeline, inspection approach, how strong the financing actually is, how clean the whole deal looks when it lands on the seller's kitchen table at 9 a.m. after a long day. Sometimes it matters more than the number. I have watched well built offers beat higher ones more times than I can count because sellers aren't just looking for the biggest check. They're looking for the deal that's actually going to close without falling apart at week 3. So here's what I need. Listen for these 3 phrases. I don't want to be outbid again. It's impossible to compete out there. We're thinking of skipping the inspections. Myth number 5. Zillow shopping equals home buying. Look, I love a late night Zillow scroll as much as anyone. No judgment. It's a hobby, it's a vibe. But somewhere along the way, the algorithm convinced people that scrolling listings is the home buying process. It is not, it's the appetizer. True story. I had a buyer find the one online. Gorgeous kitchen backsplash, freshly tiled shower. He was ready to write an offer sight unseen. I told him to pump the brakes. Let's go see it. Humor me. Y'all, that gorgeous backsplash? Paper samples from Home Depot, taped up like a kindergarten art project. The newly tiled shower? Stickers. Vinyl stickers slapped over water damage and actual holes in the wall. If we'd gone off the photos, he would have bought a house held together by craft supplies and wishful thinking. That's the job, not to crush dreams, to protect them, to walk in with you, ask the questions you didn't know to ask, and keep emotions from driving the bus straight off a cliff into Stickergate 2026. Online browsing is the appetizer. The meal is the plan. So, what does a great referral look like? Renting, stable income, wants a plan. Nervous but curious. Lease ending in 3 to 6 months. Relocating to Tucson. Wants clarity more than height. Here's some qualifying questions you can ask. When does the lease end? Have you talked to a lender yet? Biggest worry: payment, credit, down payment, timing? And here are some red flags and disqualifiers. If they're not ready to share any timeline or budget, they want a tour for funsies with no plan, or they're working with another realtor already. Those are not my people. The ask is simple: 3 to 5 warm first time buyer introductions in the next 30 days. Best referrals are renters who want a plan, not perfection. An intro is perfect: name, number, which myth is keeping them stuck. Next step is 15-minute buyer game plan call. No pressure, just clarity. Thanks for letting me do some myth extermination today. If someone is stuck in someday, send them my way. I love turning nervous renters into confident homeowners. Jennifer Winchester, residential realtor, Realty Executives, Arizona Territory.